Hello, I've had a request from a couple of friends to tell you some coping mechanisms for chronic fatigue syndrome, which hopefully are applicable to long COVID, post-viral syndromes, and also for just generally when you're ill and run down, especially in the winter. So my 5 tips are pacing, rest, multivitamins, self-massage, and sugar, uh, not eating. Number one is pacing. So when I say pacing, I mean you should break up your exertion with regular breaks, planned breaks. When I say exertion, I mean anything physical, mental, or emotional. So any physical exercise that you're doing, any mental activity that you're doing, and anything that triggers like a strong emotional response. Those are all forms of exertion. They will have slightly different impacts on the body, but you should try and break them up as much as you can. I think emotional is a little bit hard to plan breaks into, but if you're watching a very emotional TV series or something, think about taking breaks between episodes. In terms of physical and mental stuff, try and give yourself breaks at least once an hour, especially if you're doing kind of office-based work. I found that a 10-minute break every hour is about right. And I tend to take longer lunch breaks as well. And when I'm feeling really unwell, I take a similar length break in the sort of mid-afternoon. Not really great for productivity, but it really helps with symptom management. One way, especially when you're starting out with this, is to block out time in my Outlook calendar. You can maybe negotiate something with your employer otherwise to ensure you have regular breaks. And then the other kind of element of pacing that I would really recommend, is like a sub-tip, is when you take a break in the mid-morning, try to time that when you are feeling at a peak of energy. For some reason, taking a break then and resting just gives you this energy boost through the rest of the day. And it seems to help a bit with recovery from viruses. So I highly recommend that. When it comes to rest, this is my point number 2. That's 2. You need to give your body a chance to properly change state from the activity that you're doing and the way that you're feeling to move to a rested state where you feel calm in mind and body. Your thoughts aren't racing, your body is steady and sitting down or something. And just bear in mind timing. It can take time for you to get from the thing you were doing into a state of true rest. If you've been working on something, your mind might still be whirring for 10 or 20 minutes. If you've been working out or doing exercise of some kind, it can take half an hour or more to bring your body down into that state of total rest. And if you've been emotionally active, when I get angry or something, it can take me 2 or 3 hours to reach clarity of thought again. So just bear that in mind. You might need to plan some activities to wind you down, and you might need to take a longer break than you're expecting. Number 3 is multivitamins. The benefit I found with multivitamins is that after about a month of taking them, I found that I was recovering from viruses faster. I felt like my energy levels were a little bit better. And when I had viruses, that my energy levels stayed a little better, and the symptoms were milder. Could have been other factors. I'd just say don't take them if you're taking other dietary supplements as well. Check that you're not overdosing on like iron or something. And buy high quality stuff. It's going to cost you £20 to £40 for a nice bottle of these, depending on the size. They're just packed with more nutrients than cheaper versions, so you get more benefit. Number 4 is self-massage. Self-massage. I'm talking about a specific type of massage which is related to lymphatic massage, which is done on very ill, immobile people to move swollen fluids from swollen limbs away from those parts of the body. You can do it when you're healthy as well. I think it's well established enough with chronic fatigue that there are problems with circulation to the extremities and the skin, and that maybe causes issues with the drainage of lymph, which the lymph system carries all your sort of waste products away from your cells. So you can just gently massage your body to drive fluids away from your extremities towards the core of your body, especially to this area, which is where the lymph nodes drain to. So you massage from the tips of your limbs to this area. Try and do your back as well, legs, backside. Just gently massaging. You can do it in the shower, and you can do it dry. Both seem to work quite effectively. The benefit I found from that is that it's reduced my malaise, so I get a kind of like general feeling of illness quite regularly. But when I do the self massage the next day, I don't get that so much, unless I'm actually with a virus. And then number 5 is to cut out sugar. I would say this is something you should do generally for your health, because sugar is really terrible for you. And I would also say that you could do this when you're ill, but then it's a bit late. One, because sugar has this like long-term effect on your body, but also because it's a really hard habit to break. Mainly because there's sugar in just everything. You look around your larder when you're trying to cut out sugar, and it's just like, oh my god, everything here is loaded with this stuff. All these condiments, all these like processed foods, but it's in like surprising places. And you shouldn't just be looking out for processed sugars, like the stuff you would bake with, or that it says sugar as an ingredient. You got to look at free sugars as well. So that's like fruit products that have been processed. So they're like the sort of slightly longer chain sugar molecules, because of the like grinding or pounding of the fruits during the food processing. It just breaks up the sugar molecules into the smallest ones, and those are the ones your blood absorbs immediately. So it gives you a similar sugar high to just processed sugars. Non-processed fruit is fine, generally speaking. So yeah, cut it out. It drives inflammation, and that diverts resources from your immune system. So I have found that since I've mostly cut out sugar, I'm not getting ill as often. My symptoms during illness are milder, and then I'm also not getting general inflammatory symptoms. So I suffer with eczema and rhinitis, which are there's a comorbidity, especially between rhinitis and chronic fatigue. So I'm often blocked up and sniffly. When I'm not eating sugar, the rhinitis is a lot better, and so is the eczema. I don't get flare-ups as much. So those are my 5 recommendations. Use with caution, although I don't think any doctor is going to be too angry about you cutting out sugar, unless you're diabetic, in which case listen to the advice about diabetes management, not mine. I have a 6th bonus one as well, which is time. Think about time. When you're experimenting on your body with these new like interventions, coping mechanisms, whatever, it takes a while for them to take effect. So just do one thing at a time. It's a really tricky business. And in terms of when you can expect to see effects from the different things that I've mentioned, I would say pacing and taking like really good rest. You'll see the benefit on the same day, if not within a couple of days, and the benefits kind of build over time. With multivitamins and the sugar stuff, it took a couple of weeks to a couple of months to really see all the results play out. So you do have to be a bit more patient with those. And the self-massage, as I mentioned, I feel the benefit myself the next day. It might not work for you at all, in which case, don't waste your time. Okay, thanks very much, everyone.